So we are halfway through the Expert Championship, and this is the situation in the Constructors Championship. As in the Drivers Championship, I now have a 3-point lead over both Marcus Gronholm and Gilles Panizzi respectively. And Ford is now only 10 points behind Peugeot in the manufacturer standings. And 6 out of 7 teams have scored points so far. So now, let's head on to the second half of the championship, starting in East Africa. And where we begin with the Safari Rally in Kenya.
For many, the Safari is the ultimate rally. As well as rough terrain and searing heat, competitors must also avoid wild animals that stray across their path. The teams even hire helicopters to scare off any four-legged hazards. The Kenyan event crisscrosses the equator and is one of the few rallies where the cars are driven absolutely flat out. It's as tough as they come.
And so let's now head over to the service area, since that is what we basically do heading into each of these rallies, making sure that we have got at least a good enough setup to give us a result in the points. And this is the setup I have gone for the first day. I should probably put those gears up again, because actually on second thoughts, can I back out of this? Oh, I can just do that. Okay. Well, this is how my setup looks for day one, and hopefully this is how it will work. I hope. As we begin with Mogotio Reverse, which is just over 7 kilometers in length. Fuck it, I'll run with this setup and see what happens.
3, 2, 1, go. 100 right.
Yeah, did I mention it is very unhelpful when you do not have the option to restart the stage?
70 left, over crest into.
You may not see it initially, but
100 left, over.
if you played this game long enough,
100 right.
you can honestly
Don't cut. 150
see the huge
right,
malefactor
left,
that
2
comes
opens, over crest. 150
with
left,
just the sheer amount of times that you can just easily trip over yourself constantly. If you're having to basically trip over yourself over and over again with the same old stages and not having to restart them individually like you can do with present WRC games. I really thought for sure that rock was going to cost me, but surprisingly it didn't. Yeah, this stage seems to be a case of me starting off hot, but then basically fizzling out as the stage goes further and further on, basically. Because I'm not able to get the advantage where the AI seem to be getting their advantages over me. Like, there are certain corners I can probably go faster in than what I'm actually going at. But at this time, I'm just trying to be as cautious as I can when going through some of these sector splits, because I just cannot find that additional pace where the AI seem to find that pace. Could be that, or it could just be a case of me really not getting my car to really grip itself on these bumpy Serengeti roads. That could be what the case is. And we more or less are in the Serengeti. Because, well, Central Africa basically is more or less part of the Sahara Desert. Huh. And suddenly I moved back up into P2. I was not expecting that. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how we do in the other two stages. If I can finish this first day of the rally in the top 6, then I'll be happy. Because that's probably the best I can ask for, considering everything else that's going on right now. Well, at least I finish in P6, so that's fine. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Alright. And... okay, one of the Citroens is out after stage 1. And also got 2 Skodas in the top 6. And also, I think all 3 Skodas in the top 10 as well in that first stage, which is pretty good for them. Well, 3 of 4 Skodas in the top 10. That's what I meant to say. So it is now time for Miley Tisa. I hope I said that right. Anyway, had a pretty good first stage, so let's try and see if we can build on that momentum. And maybe see how much further we can go with this.
1, go.
If possible.
70, right 2 into left 4, 100, right 2 into left 3, 150, right 3 into left 3, 70, right 2 over crest.
Just gotta make sure I keep this car pretty much where it's supposed to be. And we should be okay.
70, right 4 into left 4 and right 4, 50, left 4 and right.
I think I have got some good pace. I just need to make sure that I keep my car on the road for most of it, and then we should be fine. I hope. Okay. Oh shit. It's never good when you run wide over those banks. Anyway, we'll see how we do.
Right 5 over crest. 70 left 2 into right 5 and left 5 over crest. 70 right 5 caution over.
Maybe we can manage to get something. Maybe we can manage to get something out of this. If I am able to regain the time lost. Well, I'm certainly driving better than I was yesterday. I know that for sure, at least. Because I actually have a bit more steering in the car compared to yesterday. And I went too deep on the curb. Oh, that's too fast. Thankfully I did not run up the sand dune. Okay. Probably didn't have to brake there, but I did anyway because, well, precautions are important. Okay. I almost fucked myself on that bank. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. That's how easily your momentum can break. But at least it's better than the Cyprus roads. Because the Cyprus roads... Because, well, the Cyprus roads, they are god-awful. to say the least.
Left 3 and
They're honestly just
straight
awful to
onto
drive on.
left 3 over crest 70, left 3 into very long, right 2.
At least with
over
these
crest,
roads, you
100,
can
right
get some
3
sort
over
of rhythm
crest,
established,
100, right 2 into left
as long
3
as you
over
don't
crest,
choke too
and
many
left
times.
4, 100, right 3 into very long, left 5 opens.
Yeah, not the best of stages with
100
this one.
left 3 onto mud. 70
Although
over
maybe I
crest
can come
into
back in
left
stage
30
3.
onto mud,
That might be
and
possible.
right 4 opens. 100 left 2 into right 2. 100 onto mud into left 3 and long
Okay,
right
just
2
keep it together.
onto mud. 100
Then we
left
should be
3
fine.
onto mud into right 3. 100 left 2 into right 5 through water splash.
Okay. How far off am I going to be at the
3
end?
over crest.
I think I have gained a few positions back again, but the question is how many. Okay, P8. Good enough for me at least. You know, considering how much worse that could have been, I will happily take P8 to win that stage. And Rovanpera wins again, so it looks like pretty much all 4 Peugeot drivers at the moment are probably going to get a win on the board. And Tommi Mäkinen is out of the rally. Well, that's one of the premier contenders already out. And so far... Oh! Also, Stig Blomqvist has now moved up to 3rd in the rally standings in the Skoda. And Armin Schwartz now drops down to 7th, behind... Yeah, I think it was Gronholm who displaced him from the top 10. Sorry, top 6. I do know these things. Anyway, here we go with this bad boy again. Well, here we go again with stage 3. Hopefully this stage will not give me the crooked leg again like it has done numerous times before.
2, 1, 30, right 3, cleared, 70, left 4, 70, right 3, 70, left 2,
At least I have a bit more concentration with me now compared to before, so I should be able to get through this pretty easily from what I can see. I don't think I'm going to win this stage, but I reckon if I can get myself at least a top 5 result, then it means I can still fight for a podium, which at this stage is what I am hoping for, in my efforts to at least keep myself in the hunt. Because now that I am leading the championship, I basically have to score as many points as I can, as well as also getting a crucial win here or there if the opportunities present themselves like they did in Greece. Which in all honesty was definitely a hard fought battle with Petter Solberg for me to win that rally. But I was so glad I did win it, because it was a win I absolutely needed. And there was no doubt about that. It was a win I most certainly needed, for sure. Okay, now I'm driving a bit more like I have the pace. Let's try and see if we can keep this going. I did not think that was going to work, but I'm so glad it did. I think having the central gears might have actually made my car faster than it was before. It actually seems to be giving me more momentum than what I thought it would at this time. I should not have braked there. Yeah, whatever. First time driving the stage today, so probably not too surprising at this point. Okay. Just gotta stay with it somehow. And hope that I managed to get this car in a good position. And in the barbed wire, although thankfully not getting caught out by it. Okay, and still encountering those mud patches. But just making sure that I keep my car's understeer and oversteer in check, which is what I try and do. Okay, and on the brakes, as that was an underhead corner, and almost hitting 100 prior to me hitting that bump. Close to hitting triple digit figures in terms of speed a few times, but still able to maintain my pace, which is what I need to do. Probably did not need to steer left there the way I did. Okay, and almost getting caught out there. I can go straight on this. Okay. And I think the next one we might as well step on the brakes anyway, because it's not as long as the previous one. And still running into the barbed wire, although thankfully at least there's nothing solid in the barbed wire, which is what helps me. Just gotta make sure my car stays balanced and then we should be fine. I hope. Okay, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Okay. I still roam onwards. And I almost run into the trees. Although thankfully at least I do manage to keep my ride going. On the brakes. And almost running into the tree, although thankfully getting out of there soon enough. Okay. Oh, that was a little deep there, but thankfully able to get it back again. Oh, that. Yep, I knew that was coming. There was no way I could stop that. I could not stop that from happening as much as I tried to. That was unavoidable. There was no way I could avoid the flip. Really do hope that's not going to cost me too many seconds. Luckily that's the finish, however. Okay, P7. Not too many spots lost then. Yeah, I really wasn't going to avoid that flip even if I wanted to. Well, at least I can say Gronholm didn't finish in the top 6. And still 19 runners left after day 1. And now I am relegated to P7. And, what do you know, we've got both Hyundais in the points at the moment, along with Harry Rovanpera, Marco Martin, Alistair McRae, and my title rival Gilles Panizzi. Thankfully, however, he's only a few tenths ahead of me, so in spite of my flip, that could have been a lot worse than it actually was. Of course, I'm not saying the situation is necessarily good, but I think I'm in a better position than I thought I was going to be. So let's move on to day 2. And so we have to do our mandatory repairs, because if we don't, then, well, the car will be crap, basically. In other words, it will just be borderline undrivable. Although thankfully, however, these next few stages should be more in our path. So first of all, going to shorten the gears, repair the brakes, stop suspension. I need to lean more towards toe out for these stages. And I think I'm also going to go full send on the fast power steering. I really do get the feeling that there are just certain stages that basically just always want to fuck with me for whatever reason. And I think this is definitely the point where I think I would say this is where I would argue the roads are really starting to fuck with me. Even though my pace overall actually isn't too bad, it's just a case of me trying to find a way of scraping my way back in to the competition, whilst also making sure that I somehow do not always run into rocks and trees. And you can imagine just how hard that is. Because I can definitely say this game is doing everything in its power to try and make sure I do not achieve finishing in the points for this rally, even though I am just on the cusp of scoring points in the rally. It definitely does feel like there are points where this game literally does take the conditions to the extreme. I mean, literally to the actual extreme. And that's not even pun intended. But sometimes I just feel like when I'm driving on these stages, I can never seem to avoid that tree. I try to avoid that tree. But no matter what I do, there always has to be something that just dives me into it. Like there's just no way I can avoid it. Even with the best brakes possible, I can just never seem to avoid stopping to slide into that tree. That's the one tree I can never seem to avoid sliding into. Well, that could have been worse. Thankfully my toe out was able to save me. And I finished P7 again. But where did Jill finish? Okay, he is out of the top 6 again. And we finished P13. And 2 more retirements. Stig Blomqvist and Francois Duval. So that does now promote me back up to 6th. However, there is a real battle going on for the podium here. as Harry Rovanpera is pretty much running away with the rally. And so we begin with Miley Tisa reverse.
Go. 70 left, 3. 30 through water splash into
Well, maybe if it's possible this time,
into right 2. 70
I might just be
left,
able
four,
to get some
into
time
right,
back
3,
again.
100 left, 3, 12,
Which, if I'm really lucky, is something that I desperately hope to have.
Right 2, 100 over crest into left 3 tightens onto mud 100 right
Oh god,
over
okay.
crest onto mud 100 very
Alright.
long right
Come
over
on.
tightens
Let's get this one going. Oh, that was too deep.
70 left 4 over crest 100
Okay, how far off am I going to be?
50 right
3 seconds
into
already.
left 3 70 over crest into
Not the
left,
best way to
3,
go about
100
this at the
long left,
moment.
1 100 right 4 70 right 4
I swear to God, if I could manage to get one stage where I actually avoid hitting that tree in stage 4, I would be at least 3 seconds up on my best overall time. That's the one tree I can never seem to avoid, regardless of how hard I try to. I can just never seem to slam the anchors for that one corner. And that's the one thing that pisses me off the most. The fact that I really try to avoid it, and yet I'm still not slow enough to just get through the corner the way I should. Well, I can definitely say the toe out setting on the toe link is helping me, because I actually seem to be better on the corner exits compared to before. I had to slam on the anchors there, or else my car would have flipped over. I have done that a few times, and I doubt it's going to stop. Okay, P3 at the moment. Okay, just gotta keep it up. And then we can move on to stage 6, where hopefully we can come away with something better. I know I'm not going to win the rally, but I might just be able to get P3 if I can finish ahead. But I might just be able to finish ahead of Marcus if I can get on the podium. And at the moment, I am currently P2 in the stage, although I am still behind Harry Rovanpera, who I think at this point is definitely in a league of his own. So I think that pretty much means that all 4 Peugeot drivers, the way things currently stand, are probably all going to have at least 1 win each, the way I see things. Okay. Just had to keep my car on the road and then I would be fine. That's all I had to do. Awesome. Okay, P3 as I get nipped by Gronholm right there at the end. And got a mix-up of the finishing order as Freddie Loy finished at the back in the Hyundai. However, he is still holding on to P6 for now, as I now promote myself up to 4th, however Gronholm now moves up to 3rd. So this is the way the standings look, now heading into the 3rd stage, so we'll see how we go from here. And oh boy, it is raining again. I seem to be encountering a lot of stages with rain. I think that's definitely becoming a recurring theme for a lot of these stages that we've done so far.
2, 1, go.
And that doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, the way things are currently looking. At least I can say with the toe link more focused on the corner exits, it does actually make my car go faster than it did before. Which means I'm actually onto something with these stages. Of course I may not be winning the stages, but I still have the pace. And having good pace is just as important as winning, is what me thinks. Although at this moment in time, however, I find it hard to see how it's really working. But at least I've got the drivability out of the car anyway, which is one thing I was looking for. And thankfully after this stage, if I can survive it, then I only have one more stage to go after this, and then I can just move on. Actually, as soon as I'm done with this stage, I can just move on to day 3, as long as I got a good result. I was actually quite happy with the result I got in the previous stage, and in all honesty, I'm pretty content with that. Okay, currently P6 in the standings. I'm pretty sure Armin Schwartz is likely going to drop out of the points after this stage is done, because I don't think there's going to be any more retirements in this rally since we've already had the 4 DNFs. At this point, unfortunately the maximum DNFs in this game are only limited to 4, so attrition to some degrees, but not to all degrees, if you know what I'm talking about. I guess it will just depend on who has the lesser bad stages than others, basically. But at the very least, it shows I have pace, and that's what I need to show. I basically need to show that I have the pace, because my teammate Marco does. I need to show it as well, which is what I aim to do in the Focus. And I am now only 2 tenths behind Harry Rothenpower, so could we achieve it? I don't think we will, but considering where we are now, it could be possible, if I can somehow keep my car on the road long enough and not lose too much speed. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't think we're going to win, but I think we'll be close. 1.5 seconds. You know what? I'll take that. All things considered, that run actually went really well. So I think Rothenpower, we can safely say, is in a class of his own. And it looks like the 2 Hyundais that were in the points early on are now going to drop out of the points. Almost definitely. And Kenneth Eriksson now moves up into the points. Meanwhile, Armin Schwartz drops down to P8. So I think it's still all to play for as to who ultimately gets the final point in the rally for Kenya. But I now move up to second, 42 seconds behind Rothenpower in the Peugeot. However, I've also got Marco Martin, Marcus Gronholm, Gilles Panizzi and Kenneth Eriksson all behind me. So this is going to be a real battle for who manages to take the final point. One Skoda out, one Citroen out, one Subaru out, and one Ford out. Anyway, saving the game again, as I so often do. And now we move on to day 3. Yeah, I have a feeling these stages are going to be longer from now on, so I think I'll put the gears back up to where they were, repair the brakes, suspension that stays the same. I think I'll put the toe link towards the centre this time, central ride height, soft tyres and fast power steering, and let's see how we go. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, this could get ugly. Still, I will say we have got a battle for 6th going on, over who eventually gets that final point. Basically showing the AI's inconsistency at their best, basically, as to who gets that last point. It's very much all to play for with the from P5 down, I think, to P10, depending on who does well and who doesn't. But we'll wait and see.
100 here, jump maybe.
Maybe we'll get somewhere, or maybe we won't.
100 left, 4. 70 left, 2, onto mud, 100 right, 2, into left, 3, over crest, 70 left, 6. 50 right, 3, over crest, into
and
left, 3.
I think so far at least I have actually nailed the setup, because I actually seem to be driving well at the moment. So I think going with the toe-in setup, that might have actually helped me out for this stage so far. I probably did not need to brake there like before. Oh god, oh crap, oh god, oh crap, okay. We lived. Now we have to try and do the rest.
100 left, 5, into right, 4, into left, 4. 150, long right, 4.
I think the Hyundais might have some real pace here, depending on what happens. It could be possible.
100 right, 3 into left, 4 over crest, 150
At this stage... okay.
into right, 4.
It's okay, we're still alive. We haven't died yet.
100 caution.
And somehow I still managed to lead the stage, in spite of my best of efforts to lose it. We're still going somehow. Okay. And over the level crossing, and over the line, and I win by 4 seconds. Let's go! I win! Stage 7 in the rally, also known as Oriane Reverse. by 4.3 seconds over Harry Rovanpera, Marco Martin 3rd, Freddie Loy 4th, Armin Schwartz 5th, and Richard Burns finished P6. Then we had Francois Delacour, Marcus Gronholm, Tony Gardemeister, and Robert Craster rounds off the top 10. And Philippe Bugalski was at the back in the Citroën. Okay, I think we're getting closer to securing... I think we're now getting closer to securing second in the rally now, as Kenneth Eriksson continues to hold on to 6th by just 200ths over Armin Schwartz. And here's the rest of the running order. In terms of who officially gets the last point, that is still very much all to play for. But we shall see what happens.
3, 2, 1, go. 70, caution, jump, maybe.
I really nailed it with the setup in that last stage. Of course, I don't think I'm going to win another stage, but for that one stage at least, the car ran exactly how it was supposed to. And I don't think that could have been any more a perfect run in this championship than what I have had now. That probably had to be my most perfect run yet, I think, in this championship, because of just how beautifully I drove. I mean, I really did drive beautifully because I nailed the setup. And that is one thing this game can reward you with. If you're able to set up your car almost perfectly for the conditions, then it will reward you. As much as I find that hard to admit, this game actually will reward you if you get the setup right. This game can punish you heavily, but it can also reward you heavily as well. And I think at this moment in time, that's precisely what's happening. Because right now, I actually feel good about this. And I might just have a shot of potentially clinching second in the rally here. I should not have lifted there. Even though it probably wasn't a bad idea in all honesty.
70 left, 6. 100 over crest into hairpin right.
And almost sliding into the tree there, but thankfully avoiding it. And down the hill, had to step on the brakes there because I would have ran wide otherwise.
100 long left, 4. 200 over jump into left, 4 over crest into right, 2.
This run is actually going really well at the moment.
Into right, 2 and left, 4. 200 over crest into.
And I might actually give myself a pat on the back if it stays like this.
100 long right, 3.
And Rovanpera is now down in 5th.
Over crest into left, 3.
I don't think I'm going to win this rally, but I'm actually not going to be too far behind Rovanpera if everything stays the way it is now. Because at the moment, I seem to be running very well. If you saw the sector split I set in that last... If you saw the time I set in that last sector split. So that definitely tells me I've got my car set up to a point where it feels like something is working. Like something is definitely just really cooking with this thing. And it honestly feels good at the moment, the way I'm running now. Also, Armin Schwartz is up to 3rd in the Hyundai. I gotta give a shout out to him. He's up to 3rd in the stage. I was not expecting
50
that.
cleared it. 50 left, over jump, maybe. 100 left, 3. 100 caution, jump, maybe.
I don't think I'm going to win the
3,
rally,
50
but
left, 4 into
I definitely
right,
feel
2,
like I am going to
50
get a
clear,
very
over
secure
jump, 30
second
left, 2 and straight,
if
over
my
crest,
form
left,
for this
3
stage
into
continues.
right, 2 over crest, 50 over
Because the
crest,
way we're
into
running at the
right,
moment,
3, 100 right, 3. 50 cleared it into right,
it's honestly
5, left, 2,
pretty much an
into
easy
right,
ride,
2.
the way I see things at the moment.
70 left, 5 over crest. 70 left, 3. 100 over
I was
crest.
not expecting myself
100
to
over
be
crest.
leading the stage by this
70
much,
left, 2 into right,
but in all honesty,
100 right,
I somehow
5
am
over
leading the
crest,
stage by this
and
much.
left for 150 right, 3
Oh,
over
shit.
crest.
That's not what I wanted. Well, an almost
150
flawless
left,
stage.
2 into right,
But
2
either way,
and dip,
I'm still leading this
150
rally by...
left, 3.
Sorry, I'm still leading this stage by a huge margin.
70 left, 3 into right, 4,
Like,
100 left, 5 over crest, ropes
I might have
inside
actually
into
hit
right,
on something
3
here.
opens, 100 caution over jump, 100 left,
And I feel
2,
like this might just be
100 right, 3 into
arguably
left,
my
over
best
dip, 100
day 3
right,
run
over tightens,
in pretty much the whole championship,
150
if I
clear,
continue
over
leading it by
crest,
this
into
much.
left, 2,
There is a very real chance that says
into right, 4,
I'm going to win this by a huge margin if I continue running it this good, because I am really locking it down as one of those dominant runs at this stage. 26 seconds. Holy crap. Pure and undeniable domination. So 26.3 seconds over Marco Martin. Armin Schwartz finishes 3rd, with Richard Burns 4th, Kenneth Eriksson 5th, and Harry Rovanperä in P6. Then we had Petter Solberg 7th, Marcus Gronholm 8th, Freddie Loy 9th, and Francois Delacour finishes off the top 10 in the Mitsubishi. And that now moves Armin Schwartz up to 5th in points. And oh my god, I'm now just 3 seconds behind Rovanperä in the rally. What the hell happened to him during the course of this day? I have no idea, but I am now just 3 seconds behind him. Could we actually do it? We'll wait and see. And it is raining for our final stage. Although considering how this day has gone so far, I have definitely locked this thing down with the setup, and I really have nailed it. I feel like the setup I've made for this thing is probably one of the best setups I think I have probably made for a long time. I mean, I still don't think I'm going to win, but I definitely feel like at this point, if I finish P2, it'll be a very well secured P2. Because I have honestly got such a huge margin now over the next best guy. It seems pretty obvious to me that I think at this point, finishing in P2, I would be perfectly happy with that. But if I finish in P1, then I will literally be elated. I don't know how this rally is going to go, but it will honestly be... Well, there goes the win. I knew that was going to happen. Well, I'm not going to win the rally, but... At least I can say that if I recover enough time, then I can at least get a very secured P2. I think winning the rally would have probably been a little too much to ask, considering how well I have basically ran for this whole day, in spite of an odd mistake here or there. I think it would have been a little too much to ask me to win this rally. Yeah, Rovanpera is ahead of me. I don't think I'm beating him. It'll be very close, but I don't think I'll catch him. I think that probably would have been an upset that would have been too much for even me to stomach, in all honesty. But I have at least gained some spots back again, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, as I said before, I'm fine as long as it extends my points lead. That's all I ask for at this point. Well, we might still be in it. Could I actually pull it off? Only one way to find out. And that's basically just coming with me to try and make sure that my run is not crap. And I think I just threw it away. I think I probably jinxed myself at this point. Yeah, I'm not beating Rovanpera anymore. Oh well. Not quite the upset, but at least I finished in P2. You know, in spite of all the inconsistencies I had throughout that rally, I somehow nearly rallied to finish top of the standings. I don't know how, but I was honestly very close to pulling it off. And these are the results for the final stage. So, unfortunately, not quite the upset, but I still managed to come away with a win. And hey, Armin Schwartz gets some points in the gets a point in the Hyundai. So that now increases the drivers on the board up to 15. And now all 7 teams have scored at least 1 point. So 4.4 seconds in the end. I think had it not been for those last minute mistakes, I might have won this rally, but I think that might have been too much to ask, personally. And here is the rest of the results. So, got some good results for Skoda, and also a point for Hyundai as well. And 4 retirements, 1 Citroën, 1 Skoda, 1 Subaru, and my teammate Francois Duval. And considering how much I was struggling yesterday just to finish this rally, I will gladly take P2 because it means that I will have now extended my lead in the point standings. I might only have 1 win, but at least I get the consistency to prove I am very much in it for the long haul. So those are your results. And ultimately, Ford gets 16 points. Peugeot gets 7, Hyundai 2, and Mitsubishi gets just the 1 point. So that now means all 7 teams are on the board. And we've now unlocked the Mitsubishi Extreme Bonus Car. Very good. It may not be the win, but I still get the bonus items. So I now increase my points lead from 3 points to 6 points, as I now have 35 compared to Gronholm's 29. Schilpanizzi is still on 26, with Richard Burns on 23, tied now with Harry Rovanpera. And now 15 drivers have at least 1 point on the board, including Armin Schwartz, who gets Hyundai's first points. And in the constructors, we are now just 1 point behind Peugeot. Peugeot has 71, Ford has 70. Then you basically have to go way back to find Subaru, who is on 41, and then way back again to find the other 4 teams, as Mitsubishi has 17, Citroen 5, Skoda 2, and Hyundai 2. And so, the Safari Rally is now finito. And next up, we have got Finland! Coming in the next episode.